Well, hello, Marshall Barnes, Janice Banks, and welcome to the Memphis Light Gas and Water Disparity Study public hearing. Thanks for being early.
Good morning.
Good morning. Is it pronounced Marshall?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Marshall, I can't hear you if you're speaking. You mute. Good afternoon, Mr. Henry Lewis. Thanks so much for joining us. Can you hear me? Oh, you're still on mute. But
Yes, I can.
oh, excellent. Thank you for being early. We'll get started soon.
Okay.
Welcome, Mr. Albert Brooks. Thanks so much for being early with the Memphis Light Gas and Water Disparity Study public hearing. We'll get started soon, but thank you so very much for being here.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for being early. My name is Janice Banks. We'll get started with the public hearing in a few minutes. Thank you for attending. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. Again, my name is Janice Banks. We'll get started with the MLGW public hearing very shortly, just waiting for a few other people to join. Thank you so much for being early. Hi, Monique. Good to see you. Janice Banks.
Hi, Janet.
Thanks for joining us today for the public hearing. Again, good afternoon, everyone. It is 12 o'clock. I think we'll have a few more people joining us, so we'll get started in 3 or 4 minutes. But thank you so much for being early and on time. Again, good afternoon. I'm Janice Banks. And welcome to the public hearing for MLGW disparity study. We'll get started in about 2 minutes. Thank you so much for being early and on time. Thanks. Okay, everyone, so let's get started. Good afternoon, and again, thank you so much for joining us. This is the public hearing for the Memphis Gas and Water Disparity Study. And the recording has started. So again, thanks again for joining us. My name is Janice Banks. I'm with Small Planet Works. And this is the public hearing again for the Memphis Light Gas and Water Division. The hearing will be recorded and posted on Griffin and Strong's website. MLGW engaged Griffin and Strong to conduct its disparity study, and Small Planet Works has partnered with Griffin and Strong to conduct the public hearings. We also have Austin Broussard of Griffin and Strong with us, who is the project manager for this study. And before we get started with the public hearing, portion of the session, many of you may not have been able to attend our informational meetings. So I'll give a really quick overview of what the study is again, and then invite just 1 or 2 questions about the study, not about MLGW's process, but about the study. And after that, we can get started with the public hearing, which purpose is solely to hear from you. Okay? So if you'll bear with me, I will share my screen with you. Can everyone see that? Raise your hand if you can see it. Show me somebody. Or you can say you can't hear it, can't see it. Thank you so much. Thanks a bunch. Okay. Griffin and Strong is an Atlanta-based public policy consulting firm conducting disparity studies for about 30 years now. It has a team of lawyers, economists, a PhD in social psychology, a PhD in public policy, and a PhD in anthropology, all part of the team to lend their expertise to these studies. Griffin and Strong CEO, Rodney Strong, is the project manager and project executive, and was the director of contract compliance for the city of Atlanta. And he was also the project manager on the first post-Croson disparity study and the principal architect of the city of Atlanta's MWBE program, which has become the model for the nation. The firm's principal investigator, Dr. Vince Egan, is one of the few expert witnesses left of these kinds of cases. He's conducted over 150 studies and successfully defended 7 as an expert witness, and none of the studies have been overturned. It's also important to start by being very clear about what a disparity study is. It's an objective research tool that determines, 1, whether there are disparities in a governmental agency's procurement activities of certain groups, 2, whether such disparities are statistically significant, and 3, whether they are likely to be caused by the race and gender of the firm's majority owner. So the heart of the disparity study looks at the availability of firms in the marketplace compared to their utilization. Griffin and Strong conducts disparity studies because of the City of Richmond versus J.A. Croson's case from 1989, which says that there must be a factual basis for any program designed to remediate past discrimination, that we must consider race and gender neutral remedies first, and then that the process for doing so must be dictated by law. Here's our study process and why it takes at least a year for disparity studies to be completed. First, there is a legal analysis, since this whole process is driven by the courts. Then we do a deep dive into the procurement policies of an organization in order to understand what the organization is doing. And so to that end, so that the research that we, at the end of the research, we can make recommendations about how MLGW can modify what it's doing if necessary. A lot of time is spent collecting and cleaning data. Our first analysis is to determine what the geographic and product marketplace is, based on where MLGW is already spending 25% of its procurement dollars. We then look at availability of minorities and women-owned companies in the marketplace and the rate at which they're being utilized. For instance, if 10% of all the Hispanic American engineers are in the marketplace, are they getting 10% of the engineering dollars? We then look at what's happening in the private sector marketplace. If we find that there are disparities within that marketplace as a whole, the government, in fact, can be a change agent in those private sector disparities. The anecdotal evidence is critical to us, and this is why you guys are here today. This is an opportunity for you to share your experience doing business with or attempting to do business with MLGW, and if you've not attempted to do business with them, tell us why. And because your input will let us know how the process can be made easier, more accessible to your business. And finally, we produce a report and recommendations. This public hearing is a part of the community engagement process. And in this process, we conduct informational meetings, which were at the start of the study. We conduct interviews with business owners and a survey of business owners, which is online and is open through April 7th. So as soon as you leave here, go rush over to the site for the study and for the survey and take your survey. And we'll put the survey link in the chat, okay? And we'll also have focus groups. So if you're invited to participate in a focus group, please do so. And of course, if you would like to give your comments one-on-one, you can email your comments to mlgwstudy@gspclaw.com. So those are all the ways that you can stay involved and provide input into the process. And this is our project timeline. And where we are right now is here at the community engagement process. And we expect to have recommendations developed and a report completed in the summer. Okay, again, we'll put this survey link in the chat so that you can go to it. Again, how you can stay involved. And lastly, the purpose of the hearing is to hear candid testimony about your experience, both positive and negative, either doing business or attempting to do business with MLGW. And if you haven't attempted to do business, why not? That's very important. Everything said during this hearing will be available for public record, but Griffin and Strong's final report will not publish your names, your business names, or any affiliations of individuals who give testimony. We're not soliciting questions in this meeting, in this public hearing, but commentary only. Additionally, we will not be responding to questions or commentary during the public hearing other than to try to get additional clarification to your comments. However, there should be an MLGW procurement person here joining us in the meeting, and we'll reserve about 5 minutes at the end of this public hearing for him or her to provide additional information and respond directly to specific commentary that you might have made. So we do expect a member of MLGW to be present or to join us in the meeting. So they'll hold any comments that they have to the end of the meeting. Now, for your public comments, please begin by stating your name and your business name clearly for the record before you begin your testimony. And we ask that everyone is respectful to each other and try to limit your comments to no more than 5 minutes. And if you're going too long, I'll raise my hand to let you know. And this is a listening session for us to hear from you. And even though MLGW members may be present, they are here to learn just as we are. Okay, so now that ends the overview of what the study process is. So I will close the presentation. Okay, good. Now, does anyone have 1 or 2 questions before we open the floor for testimony or comments? Just 1 or 2. If you do, I'll raise your hand and unmute yourself and ask that procedural or process question.
Yes, good afternoon. I have a question.
Yes, Yolanda, go ahead.
This is Yolanda Smith, and I'm with Hicks Tire Service, and I just wanted to clarify the study timeline. It appears that the study is almost over. So this particular study is going to just be one part, and then after this, they'll look into the information that they've received to make decisions or recommendations.
You're exactly right. This public hearing is one component of the complete study, and a lot has gone on prior to this. The research into the marketplace, policies, disparities of various types, and other interviews with business owners and stakeholders. So yes, this is toward the end of the process.
So I want to add
yes,
just a bit, Yolanda. So the study process began late summer or early fall last year. There's a lot of data collection. There's a lot of anecdotal evidence gathering, which includes, I believe in this course, there were 50 different anecdotal interviews of business owners.
Yes.
We've had public information meetings for folks to come out and get educated about the process, and that was early on. We are having focus groups soon. This is the public hearing portion. So what we're doing is hitting it from all angles, making sure that we don't get to the end of the study and have business owners that say, I wasn't engaged and I didn't get to say my piece. All right. So days like today are opportunities for us to hear the actual lived experiences of the business owners in the marketplace. The study isn't almost over per se, right? We've got a few more months left in the process, data analysis, et cetera, et cetera. But you are correct that at the end of it, and that's why Janice mentioned during the presentation, you've got PhD economists and lawyers on our team. We actually can help draft policy, right, that can be implemented by MLGW, of course, as they see fit. But our study is to find out what the lay of the land is, and based on the legal requirements, the recommendations that we make have to be based on what we found in the data and in these meetings, in the anecdotal evidence, right? And so that's what the process looks like in whole. But as far as where we are in it, you've got a few more months in the study. It's necessary, though, that we have days like today for your input. One thing I will say, though, the survey that I've been putting in the chat, it closes on the 7th. It's been up for, I believe, almost 2 months, and business owners should have been getting reminders, et cetera, et cetera. I'm sure the folks that are on this call are the active bunch, and hopefully you already have finished that survey. But even if you haven't, please do share it with your business networks, with organizations that you may be a part of. It does close on the 7th at midnight. but it only takes about 10 minutes to finish. And what we know is, even if we added another 90 days, at the end of that 90 days, we would like to get the request to give just a couple more days to finish it, but it's only actually a 10-minute exercise. So please do click into that survey, go ahead and knock it out, because that becomes data that can then be used to inform the recommendations that we're able to make as a part of the study. And if we don't hear back from the business community, then it can only be assumed that any of the issues that might have been behind the wall or behind the curtain, we can't uncover them if people aren't willing to share. And so thank you, of course, for being here. We're looking forward to your comments today, but I want to give that full answer, not just for you, but for others on the call who may have had similar questions.
Thanks, Austin.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, thanks, Yolanda.
You're
Anyone
welcome.
else? Anyone else with a question before we open it up for your comments and testimony? Okay, excellent. So who's going to be the first person, brave person, to share your experience in doing business with or attempting to do business with MLGW? And if you have not attempted to do business with them, why not? We are also interested in learning what your positive experiences have been, as well as any negative experiences. And we're interested in learning, we want to know about your experiences in the marketplace locally. So because they all contribute to the recommendations and the profile of what opportunities MLGW has to make this process and opportunities more accessible to your company. So now we rely upon businesses like yours being open and sharing, because as Austin said, if you don't share anything, we'll assume, but it will be assumed that that everything is working fine. So if you'd like to give your comments, raise your hand and unmute yourself. Oh, and I see that Randy from Memphis Light Gas and Water, Randy Orsby, has joined us, and he will be staying over at the end of the testimony period to provide additional information that may be relevant to things that might have been said during the course of the hearing today. So thank you, Randy, for being here. So who would like to be the first brave person to give testimony?
And again, it's positive and negative, right? Because if there are things that are going well, we want to hear that too, so that we can do more of it. But what we would definitely need is for you all to share during meetings like today. So again, thank you for being here, but go ahead and unmute and we can start the conversation.
And we know that many people come to listen and to learn, but your contribution is what is important. So we do want you to be a contributor.
I think Philip came off mute just for a second. I'm not sure if that was to speak. Philip, were you?
Yes, sir. My name is Philip Townsend. I own a small video production company. And I talked to, I think her name is Pat, about trying to do some business with y'all for us on video content, doing commercials, training videos like that. And it was very positive. I think I talked to her about 2 months ago. So I'm hoping to get some feedback on that. I have problems with trying to get, being that I'm a small production company, trying to get business with the city, MLGW, for us on those type of projects.
Got
Thank
it.
you, Mr. Townsend. Thank you.
And
Yes,
Philip, what's the name of your business again?
PJ Townsend Films.
Okay. Yeah.
Website is pjtownsendfilms.com.
A little marketing, nothing wrong with that. Okay. Next person. Again, thanks for being here and joining us and listening in, but we really need to hear your comments and feedback so that we can make recommendations so that MLGW can best serve you and your company in providing opportunities. And we will assume nothing's wrong if you don't.
And again, that is not a threat, right? It's not
Yes,
to.
it is.
It's not to threaten you. Obviously, you got an opportunity to send email comments as well, right? If you don't want to speak in the public forum and you didn't know that it would be recorded, right? That makes complete sense. But for those who are here and do have things to share, please do. Because one thing for sure, we're going to be here the whole time, and I don't want you to sit here and it just be quiet. So thank you, Yolanda, for going ahead.
Yes, thanks. Yes,
Hey
sir.
guys, I have a question. I'm trying to figure out how to raise my hand. I'm not too familiar with doing Zoom, so is it okay for me to ask my question?
Yes, it is. It's
Okay,
perfect.
so I'm Yolanda Smith, and as I said earlier, I'm with Hicks Tire Service. And my question is, as a small minority business here, I don't see or maybe necessarily know where to look for these companies. So we're a small tire service, and we do big, of course, commercial tires, and we don't really do. Uh, but
Oh, I think
I'm trying to find out is where they.
you're breaking up,
I'm
Yolanda.
sorry, Miss Banks. What did you say?
You're breaking up.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you. You're breaking up again.
Now?
Yes, you're breaking up. Are you, okay, are you referring to MLGW solely or just in the marketplace in general in terms of where to find opportunities?
So I'm speaking of both Memphis Light, Gas, and Water, and for city contracting and bidding, both.
Okay. Randy is here and he will provide some additional information to in response to your question at the end of the public hearing. Okay.
Okay.
So stick around. We can't provide any information on the process that the city uses, but Randy Orsby of MLGW will be here till the end of the process, at the end of the process.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Who else has things to share? And again, both positive and negative, whether you've done business with MLGW or not, the goal is to create this equal playing field for all businesses to have the opportunity to do so. And so your feedback is genuinely appreciated. We don't want to sound like a broken record, but frankly, it's kind of what we have to do in meetings like this because it can't just be quiet. The goal is to actually get the feedback.
And Austin has placed in the chat the location for the study, if you'd like to give one-on-one comments. However, it's really important. It really helps the process if you could share those comments and say them out loud because it helps other people as well. But if you would like to just remain anonymous and send your information, your question in, the address is mlgwstudy@gspclaw.com. And we really do appreciate that as well. But you're saying it aloud helps others in the room. And the URL, the link for the business owner survey is also in the chat. Thanks, Austin, for doing that.
No problem.
This is an opportunity if you have a concern, if you wanted to share your experience in doing business with or attempting to do business with MLGW, to again say it out loud, because remember, Randy Orsby is here, and and at the end of this process, you would be able to get some information about your concern if you express it now. If you unmute you can provide your feedback, your comments. If this were the absolute end of the study, what would you want MLGW to know? Here's an opportunity to provide that feedback or that input. We'll be here though.
And again, you don't have to raise your hand, even if you just come off mute. You're welcome to do so. We've got a number of folks in the room. And so thank you again for still sticking with us, for being here. But your comments are necessary and they're valuable to the process. And there may be those of you, right, who've gone to other public hearings. This is the sixth, right? There are a number of disparity studies going on in Memphis right now. So we're genuinely thankful that everybody showed up. But in order for it to be effective, we've got to hear from you as a part of the process. So thank you.
Especially, I'm sorry.
You're fine, Jenna. You're fine.
And especially if you want MLGW to make improvements, because these are going to be really specific to what we can recommend in our report to them. So yes, we do thank you for having attended all these other public hearings that are happening around town. But MLGW specifically needs to hear your comments today as well. Come on, be brave. Step into the pool of shared knowledge. Again, it's any of your experiences that you've had doing business with or attempting to do business with MLGW. And it's really important for us to understand, if you have not attempted to do business with MLGW, why not? What are some of the barriers that are preventing you or frustrating you or from attempting to do business with them? And some of the things that are going well so they can continue to do them. If you've not had an opportunity to speak, we have, about 25 minutes left. So what is in terms of business opportunities for your company, your organization? What's your most pressing need from them or of them? We've heard transparency. William, okay, is just joining us. Thank you, William, for joining us. We are in the midst of our public commentary, and we really welcome your comments and your experiences on doing business with or attempting to do business with MLGW. And if you've not done business with MLGW, or attempted rather to do business with MLGW, why not? And welcome Michael Brooks for also joining us. We're seeking your input on your experiences and the need, your most pressing need from MLGW in providing access and opportunities to your company. How you can do better, be more successful. So thank you for joining us. And if you have anything to say, this is for William and Michael, who have just joined us. You can unmute yourself and give us your comments for the public hearing portion of this process. Again, if you prefer to put your comments in email, the email address for the study is mlgwstudy@gspclaw.com. And don't forget that the business owner survey is open through Friday, April 7th. And the email address, or the link to the study is in the chat. So come on, brave people. This is your time to provide input into recommendations that we can make to MLGW. And an opportunity for you to bring to light what your experience has been. Don't be shy. Are there any new businesses that are here? Maybe you've only been in business for 1 or 2 years. Tell us some of the challenges that you are possibly facing in the marketplace, the local marketplace, or with MLGW. What, as a new organization, what are some of your challenges in trying to access opportunities? Have you had any successes with contracting with MLGW? Do you feel that prime contractors maybe prevent you from getting opportunities?
This
Michael.
is Michael Laird. Yeah, I just found I'm actually out of town there, and I'm
Okay,
with the company there, so I kind of found my mute button, and I'm in found a little stubby hole just for a second or two there.
yeah,
Of course, I'm in the printing business,
okay. What's the name of your company?
Precision Printing in Jackson, Tennessee.
Okay,
Of course, I've been a part of a lot of the programs over the last 30 years. I guess I'm on the down leg of my business now, semi-retired. But I've never had any success in securing any business in the Memphis area at all. Matter of fact, I had a tough time securing business here in Jackson with the utility company here in the Jackson area. We did have we were connected with the Memphis small business minority business in the Jackson area. But I had to fight to get some business in. It just was not, it has never been easy trying to get solicit business through the city.
through
For
Memphis. Mhm. What did you perceive as some of the barriers?
Well, I think you kind of said something, I think one of the major issues that I had, I think they felt that the minority business just wasn't capable of supplying the needs that they had, that we were just too small. Like I said, I've been in business for about 30 years, and I just found it an obstacle there dealing with the city and getting business there. Now, when the Minority Purchasing Council, when I joined that did help. But I've never been successful in the Jackson area there. It always went to most of the business went to the majority business there, owners.
Okay. Go ahead.
Now, let me say this, and there's nothing wrong with this. If you did, or if you did, was successful in getting business with some of the through the city or some of the larger companies, most of those times it's because she was working with a majority-owned business there.
Okay,
You had to partner to get
yes.
some there, right?
Okay. In your attempts to do business with here locally in Memphis with MLGW, what barriers might you have faced, did you face in doing that?
Well, whenever I would bid on it, I just never did hear anything. Never. I never was successful in getting a bid through the Memphis area there, and through the school system, through any part of the business, utility company, any of the city-owned businesses there. And I just always felt that it was because I was a minority business there, and I was a minority small business there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the minority businesses are small there.
Once you were not awarded a contract, did you follow up with MLGW to determine, get some feedback on possibly why you were not selected or what you could have done differently?
No, I did not. And that may have been a fault of my own there for not following up, but I did bid on several jobs, and okay. I just, not being successful in getting those bids there, I just kind of left that market alone there, the Memphis market altogether. Right.
Thank you, Michael.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that, and I just concentrated more. I was having enough problems just in my own area, Jackson there, business there that I felt that I was capable. Well, I knew we was capable of doing it. It's just trying to break through to give them an opportunity to do it there. Example, JEA in Jackson, the utility company here. I could not get any business at all. And I would go up there and I talk to them and I ask them, they promised that they're going to do something. I didn't get anything until we started a minority purchasing council here in Jackson.
Okay.
And with that and Procter and Gamble, they was on board to try to do something for the minorities there, That's when I started being successful in getting some bids. Never did get what I felt was large contracts, but nevertheless, we did break the door down, and we did get some business through those, and we still do business with those companies even as of today. So I'd say over the last 15 years there, I've been doing business with JEA and with Procter and Gamble, also there.
Do you subcontract with some of these primes? Is that how you get projects with JEA?
Well, no, as a matter of fact, no, we do it all in-house. The jobs we got, we were capable of doing those jobs in-house.
Does JEA have an MWBE program? Do you know?
If it is, it's not active.
Okay.
I think it's probably riding on the remnants of when this started several years ago. That's been 15 or so years ago, maybe 20 years ago, that they started a program here, and they had a gentleman that was over it. And we used to have meetings there, but now there's no meetings. As far as I know, that program does not exist, but they are still doing business with probably some of the existing vendors that was in that program there.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you, Michael. Has
Sure.
anyone else experienced some of the things that Michael has expressed with MLGW or with here locally in the metropolitan statistical area? Any of those same barriers or opportunities?
And lastly, Michael, I don't know if we caught your business name, but I want to make sure you got it.
Precision Printing.
Precision Printing. And then are you registered to do business with particularly MLGW for the purposes of this public hearing?
Well, I was, yeah. I assume I am now. I don't even try to solicit in that area at all there. But yeah, years ago, I was probably a part of all the different programs there, small business, Section 8 program and all of those programs there at one point.
Okay. And so do you receive the solicitations?
No, I don't get anything now.
Okay, got it.
But when I was on the list, and I did have the opportunity to bid on some stuff, I never was successful there. With the schools or colleges, schools over there in the Memphis area. I've just never been successful in Memphis at all there. Yeah.
Got it.
Thanks.
All right, we've got about 10 more minutes, right?
Mhm.
During which comments like Michael's or anyone's, right, both positive or negative, would be really helpful to receive. Again, we're going to be here the whole time. We're going to have a couple of minutes at the end for information to be shared from the MLGW side, capturing feedback or making sure to respond to questions that may have been asked during the public hearing session, as the public hearing session is only for commentary. And we can't respond other than to ask clarifying questions like we've just been doing. But anyone else who's here, thank you for still being with us. Let's make the best of the rest of this time by making sure the commentary in from you all. Because again, the business owner's feedback is a key part of the actual process. It becomes data. If you hear it once, it's one thing, but if you're hearing it several times, multiple times in community or in concert from the different angles in which we gather this anecdotal information, then it becomes meaningful feedback that we can utilize in recommending improvements or recommending continuation of certain things with MLGW. So thank you again for being here, but your comments are definitely going to be valuable as we move here to the close.
I assume that they are trying to make some changes or to do more business with minorities that are in business?
Yes.
And if so,
Yes.
what are they doing to help in that area now?
So Michael, I will say that this part of the call is for commentary only. At the end of the call, there can be some information shared from the MLGW side. At the
Sure.
beginning, we talked about the disparity study process. This entire disparity study, an over a year-long process, is specifically to research the policy, the procedure, the data, the anecdotal evidence that we gather from the community, right? That is the work of making sure that there's an equal playing field. And per the law, per the legal cases, the precedent that have been set, if there is discrimination found, statistically significant discrimination found along the lines of race or gender, that factual basis is what allows us to then be able to recommend action to remediate those issues. And so this work, this conversation, these parts of the research are valuable to getting to the actual destination of being able to recommend to MLGW what needs to happen based specifically on what has been found.
I got you. Okay. Okay.
Yes, Juanita. Oh, I thought you unmuted yourself for a second there. Rogers. Again, we really appreciate all of you for being here with us today. This is a very important part of the work that we're doing with the study. And your feedback, your comments, your lived experiences.
Let me ask you a question. And like I
Yes.
said, I've been keeping up closely with it. I've been getting a lot of emails there from you all there, you know. What brought about this to come up to see whether or not with Memphis Gas and Light Company was, you know, being fair with minority vendors here?
Again, Michael,
Yeah.
during this portion, we can only receive your comments.
I
And
got you.
at the end of
Okay.
it, that's where MLGW can share additional information.
Okay. All right. Good.
No worries.
But you have to stay around, so stay around. Okay.
I'll try to there. Yeah,
We've only got a few more minutes.
sure.
In the 5 minutes that we have left, is there anyone who would like to share their public comment? I appreciate, again, everyone for showing up today in the middle of your workday, one day before the holiday. We get all the context that would have made it difficult to show up, and you did it anyway. So please do make this time valuable and, of course, useful to MLGW and the study process by being able to share feedback that can be used to inform how we move forward when it comes to creating an equal playing field for doing business with Memphis Light, Gas, and Water. I know I sound like a broken record, and the truth is I'm completely okay with that. Because based on what we're here for, it's necessary to continue to ask, because that feedback is going to be valuable to the process.
Again, what would you want MLGW to know if this were the actual end of this complete study? What would you want them to know about how, what assistance they can provide and how they can provide greater access to opportunities for your business so that you can be successful? What would you want them to know? Especially about your experiences or your attempts to do business with them. Especially why you haven't attempted to do business. As Mr. Brooks indicated, not hearing anything, not getting any feedback.
Yeah.
Why have you not attempted to do business? Yes, Mr. Brooks.
Well,
Michael.
I did want to add something else. You asked a question earlier there. You know, I was kind of thinking back. This has been years ago, so because I haven't tried to do business with Shelby County, anything in the Shelby County area at all. And of course, I'm on the end phase of my business now. I'm semi-retired, basically. You know, although I'm still in business. Back during the time, I wanted to think that, of course, the playing grounds has never been equal. If you're a minority in business, in time, you know that. But I also thought maybe because I couldn't get any business in the Memphis area, even through the Minority Purchasing Council there, was simply because I was not in the Shelby County area. That may have been a disadvantage there because I was coming from another county bidding in, you know, into the Shelby County area there.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I will say this: just give us an opportunity. Memphis Gas and Light Company, just give us an opportunity to bid on something. Give us if it's just a small amount of business here, give it to us and let them prove what we can do.
Thank you. And with that, I think that will be a good segue into reserving this last 5 minutes for Randy Orsby from MLGW to provide some additional information. And we thank him again for being here and for providing some additional information and possibly responding to some of the comments and concerns that have been expressed today. Okay, Randy.
First of all, I'd like to say good afternoon to you, Ms. Banks and Mr. Broussard, for providing this platform for myself and the MLGW employees and for some of the possible or some of the supply diversity participants that are on this Zoom call.
Thank you. Randy, one last thing before you start. This ends the public hearing portion of today's session, okay? So we have just completed it, and we thank you for having stayed here to hear this additional information, but the public hearing process is closed for today. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Randy. My apologies.
Yes, ma'am. So what I would like to do is go ahead and dovetail into what Mr. Brooks he was commenting on as far as being local. And you do not have to be local to get business. We receive business all over the United States and the nation. We do have a program, the LSB, which is the local small business. That's a policy that we have adopted. It's similar to the city or the city of Memphis that was adopted back in 2014, where we try to enhances the purchases of women-owned business, local small businesses, and it may incorporate minority business owners as well. And that's for items or products or services that are anticipated to be under $100,000. We do that for the local small businesses only. Anything else is the bids are subjected nationwide. So you do not have to be local to be able to get a bid. Now, to also comment on Mr. Brooks, he did say give him an opportunity. What I will do is give my email address and we will tell you how to get on our online bid notification. What we can't do is just give you a bid, and because we could get sued, we have to do a competitive solicitation. So what we can do is I'll give you my email address, and I'm getting ready to give it now, which is Orsby, ORSBY, at MLGW.org. Again, RORSBY at MLGW.org. And I will tell you how to get on our online bid notification list. That list, what it does is it provides you an opportunity to look and see what products or services you can offer us. Then you can click onto that. And when we have an opportunity for a bid from a department, then it should notify you that a bid is coming, and then it'll allow you the opportunity to bid on it. We'll send you a bid. bid solicitation, and then you can review it and look at it, look at the specifications, look at the scope of work, and make a determination if you want to bid on it or not. Those are the opportunities that we provide for anybody. We also have Ms. Tamara Pate and Tiffany Bird have put together a wonderful program called the Monday Mingle, and they do that. I believe they do it twice a month, and they get to know some of our supply diversity people that want to be able to be a part of MLGW and do business with us. That is a great opportunity. I can put you in contact with them, and then they can invite you to a Monday Mingle, which is great. A lot of people have joined that and or attended that session and have loved it. So that's another opportunity also. Miss Hicks, I know with Hicks Tire and Service, Miss Yolanda, I know she was talking about an opportunity to do business, which we do have contracts for tires. I know we're in a contract with someone now, but if you get on the online bid notification list and select what products and services that you provide, the next time a contract comes out for our tire services, then that should alarm you and send you an email, and then you can say you would like to have a bid, and we would send you a bid, and then you would review the scopes, specifications, and then you would submit your bid back if you choose to, and then we would look at it and evaluate it, and we go from there. One of the things I wanted to talk about was I heard that, and I can't remember who it was. He was saying he hadn't been successful in Memphis and not with MLGW. And one of the things that we want to do is try to increase and enhance our supply diversity pool as much as possible. We send out, we apply goals to different contracts. Tamara does that to see if either we can get more primes or if the primes can get subcontractors in with that. But one of the things about success means that when we send you a bid, our bid looks for the lowest and best bid. We don't just award a bid to anybody. It has to be the lowest and the best bid that meets our scopes and specifications. So there are several people I've heard before, not even on this panel before, just in other particular events, say they weren't successful. Well, sometimes they weren't successful because they weren't the lowest and best bid. Not that we didn't send them a bid or they didn't receive one, we didn't provide them an opportunity, but their bid was out of the budget, or the money was too much. You know, we had somebody, hypothetically, their bid was for $300,000 and the lowest best bid was for $175,000. Well, of course, we're going to take the one that's cheaper and better if it meets all the qualifications and specifications for MLGW. So what we try to do is make sure that we be the best steward for our ratepayers' money, and not just award just because we're awarding to people, but we do want to award to, and like I said before, increase and enhance our supply diversity pool. But we also have to think about being great stewards for our company and for the money that we're spending for our ratepayers. We do not want to waste money. So we always tell people, put your best foot forward. Doesn't matter if you are MBE, WBE, or if you're not in it, in that particular pool. Please put your best foot forward on your pricing and everything else that we ask for. And also, please remember this: always sign your bid. One of the things that we just had an issue with, I think it was a minority, they didn't sign their bid. So if they didn't sign their bid, that's a voided bid. That bid is non-compliant. We can't even evaluate that bid. And lastly, I did want to discuss the way we operate, or as we operate off of the requests of our departments and our end users. If they don't provide a requisition to us and let us know, hey, we need this, then we don't have anything to go on. So I know that sometimes people say, well, you know, I haven't gotten any business from the procurement contracts department. Well, we respond to our end users in the company. And lastly, to a question that was asked, and I can't remember who asked this question, why was the diversity or the disparity study even created or started? We asked for this to ourselves. Tamara went out and asked, we hadn't had one in, I don't know, can't remember if it was 7 or 8 years ago, and one should be done. I think typically it's one usually done every 5 years. And we hadn't had one in quite some time. And so we took upon ourselves to go out to see if we can enhance and improve, our supply diversity department, and we can diminish any barriers, or to find out if there's any kind of disparity with our supply diversity compared to our non-supply diversity. So we took the initiative to go out to have someone evaluate us, do some research like Mr. Broussard and his team, and Ms. Banks and his team, her team, to see if we are doing anything or if there are ways that we can improve and enhance our business process with MBEs and women-owned business and local small businesses. So I hope that answers your question. We went out to try to find out ourselves if there's anything that we can do better. Like I said, we hadn't been doing this in quite some time, so we wanted to see if we can get better, and they're doing the research now for that. With that being said, I know we're running short on time, so I'll
Okay.
digress from there. If anybody has any questions or concerns or whatever, you can ask me now, or you can send me an email to that email address I just provided a minute ago. That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you so much, Randy. We really appreciate it. And we promised an hour, and Randy has given his email address. So if you'd like to follow up with him, please do. We thank you so very much for joining us today and spending your afternoon. I hope you had an opportunity to have lunch, but thank you so very much and for your contribution. And this ends our public hearing for the MLGW disparity study. And have a great afternoon. Thanks, everyone.
All right, you too.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Thanks, guys. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Ms. Smith.
You're welcome.